Hello, fifth grade. How are you doing? Welcome back. All right. We're here in library. It's going to be a little different this year, but you know what? It's going to be great. So to start off with, we will have about the same format in that we will have announcements and book reviews, and then head into quiet reading, which again, it's a privilege to have that nice time to quietly read. You will notice I put a Google form on this assignment too. Please fill that out. And this is just something that's for my information, so it allows me to help you. So please fill it out as if, sometimes it's hard to say what you really feel about things, but if reading is, for whatever reason, you're frustrated or you need better reading materials, put that in. So stay tuned for more updates on accelerated reading. But in the meantime, I'm going to share a little, it's just a little nonfiction piece. I think we read so much fiction. This is a nonfiction piece, and I'll read a few pages from it. And then you are off to do your own independent reading. Oh, and don't forget to do that Google form, okay, and send it in. All right, take care. Great to see you. Well, I don't really get to see you, but we will soon.
All right, before you head off to read on your own, I just wanted to read a few pages from this nonfiction selection, Accidental Inventions. It is fantastic. I had no idea. Wait until you hear about a few of these. Let's start with good old Play-Doh. Back in 1956, could you pass me the plasticine, please? There's a mark on the wall. Believe it or not, Play-Doh was launched by soap factory Kootol Products before World War II as a cleaning product for wallpaper. In 1955, owner Joseph McVicker gave his sister-in-law, a nursery school teacher, a piece when she told him that traditional modeling clay was too messy and solid for small children's hands. The non-toxic, washable, and permanently soft clay substance was an enormous success in her classroom. A year later, the cleaning product was relaunched as a children's toy, and McVicker was a millionaire. Currently, 95 million pots of Play-Doh are still sold every year. Wait till you hear this one. Potato chips. A restaurant patron's complaint about the size of potato slices and a chef who took great offense resulted in the popularization of potato chips in 1853. When an unhappy customer at Moon's Lake House in Saratoga Springs, New York, kept complaining that his potatoes were too chunky and thick, George Crumb cut the potatoes wafer thin, baked them until they were crunchy, and covered them in salt. When the patron was served, he was delighted rather than perturbed and finished every last crumb on his plate. Crumb's retaliatory concoction was the start of a resounding success. His Saratoga chips, not the earliest recorded introduction of potato chips, but the first well-publicized one, became a local delicacy until an enterprising businessman named Henry Lay commercialized the product during the Prohibition era. More than 150 years after its invention, the potato chip is worth a third of the global snack market. Aha! Oh, wait till you hear about this one. Velcro. In 1941, electrical engineer Jorge de Mestral wasn't looking for inspiration when he went on a hunting trip with his dog, but what he returned with would lead him to an invention that would change his life. The fur of his dog and his own socks had become covered in burrs of burdock. After he removed them with great difficulty, he examined one under the microscope and noted there hundreds of microscopic hooks that caught on anything with loops. De Mestral saw the possibility of a strong, lasting, and easy-to-use fastener. In 1949, he discovered that, when sewn under infrared light, nylon formed small but tough hooks that easily fasten onto soft polyester material. He called his invention Velcro, after the French words velours, velvet, and crochet, hook. The revolutionary fastening system was commercialized in 1959 and is still used in a huge range of products. Can you just imagine? It all started from a hunting trip with his dog. Oh, this next one I am very curious about. The chocolate chip cookie. Let's see how that was accidentally invented. In 1930, Ruth Wakefield of Toll House Inn in Massachusetts accidentally invented cookies containing chocolate chips. When baking her favorite chocolate cookie, she noticed that she had run out of baking chocolate. Therefore, she broke a Nestle milk chocolate bar into small pieces and mixed it with the dough. However, the pieces didn't melt but became slightly gooey. Luckily, the failed cookies were incredibly popular with her guests and even became famous on a national level. When Andrew Nestle noticed that his chocolate sales were dramatically increasing, he offered Wakefield a lifelong supply of chocolate in exchange for the privilege to print her recipe on the packaging. This only increased the popularity of America's favorite type of cookie. Wow, can you imagine inventing a recipe like that is used universally? Oh my goodness. I'm curious if any of you like to bake. And if so, have you invented your own baked good? I would love to hear about that. Post-its. I can't wait to read about this. In 1968, 3M scientist Spencer Silver was looking for a strong adhesive when he stumbled across a glue that hardly stuck at all and took an excruciatingly long time to dry. The product was put to rest in the 3M archives and would have stayed there if it had not been for Silver's colleague Arthur Fry. He sang in his church choir and was in search for a bookmark for his hymnal that would neither fall out nor damage it. Using Silver's glue, he produced small pieces of paper that temporarily adhered to the book. Convinced of the brilliance of his idea, he gave some samples to his colleagues. They hardly ever used them as bookmarks, though, but adopted them as medium of communication. Written notes appeared in files, on telephones, and on doors. It wasn't until 1980, however, that the yellow squares made it onto the market. Currently, Post-its rank in the top 5 of most popular office supplies. Well, now I'm curious how much they sell a year. I use them so often. I think we're going to have to look that up. Okay, I couldn't help it. I looked it up. Guess how many Post-its 3M manufactures each year? Drum roll, ready? 50 billion. 50 billion Post-its every year. Oh my goodness.